show is a mystery. That's Peter Bergman's first rule of radio theater. And it's right, we always start completely with the unknown. And when you actually listen to a radio show, you can only know it as you go along. This is the place we're going to do this program pretty soon, too soon.
You are a visiting celebrity, Mr. Tirebiter.
You are a visiting celebrity, Mr. Tirebiter?
You are a visiting celebrity, Mr. Tirebiter?
You are a visiting celebrity, Mr. Tirebiter?
Oh, I think I know. John, Steve, Tracy,
Let me see that radio wave. No, by the twin eyeballs of Saturn.
swell time in the back seat kind of music moment there.
Yeah, like handcuffs of Havana.
Handfuls
of Havanas.
So let's have everybody in the second half of the show come in the green room, please. The Tirebiter story is a pilot for a new radio comedy series, and this is its first performance anywhere here in Grand Rapids.
Quiet, stand by. 5, 4, 3.
Espud & Sons, makers of fine rolled-up tobacco products since World War I, invite you to lay back, light one up, and enjoy a satisfying show as Dreamo Cigars presents Maxwell Morgan, Crime Cabbie.
Well, I started in radio as an announcer. I actually was a summer replacement announcer at WBAI in New York in 1959. At that point, radio theater had completely disappeared from, just nobody was doing it. It was difficult to broadcast old radio programs because nobody was sure about clearance, and getting new shows was quite hard. It was just, the art was almost lost. Then my career with Firesign Theatre pretty much took radio drama and radio theater and put it onto records, which in a sense revolutionized both the form of records and of radio.
Well, I first heard of David through his participation in the Firesign Theatre. I first heard the radio version of Nick Danger, Third Eye. I can't even remember the station now, but it struck me as being so unusual. And certainly harked back to the old days of radio, but also projected forward and brought it into a modern realm rather than just nostalgia. What we tried as a group to do live was to bring an improvisatory sort of quality to our radio broadcasts, which I think had not been done in radio comedy before. I had seen David Ossman at the Midwest Radio Theater Workshop working with a community to develop a live radio play, and thought this would be a great idea for Grand Rapids, get the community involved in radio and working with David and to learn about how radio is done. All during this decade, I and many other producers have been doing workshops to train new people into radio theater, both the Midwest Radio Theater Workshop and the Western Public Radio workshops in San Francisco, and occasions like this, coming to a town and organizing from the ground up a radio performance.
Ah, Tirebiter, what brings you here to the heartland to do a Christmas play in the middle of spring? Promotion, that's what. I've stepped back inside the engine of hype that runs the American Bozo bus. The community response was incredible. We had, I really lost track after a while because I didn't continue writing down names, but it seemed like about 175 calls. What we did is we actually, I think, auditioned about 90 people. It was a lot of people.
Now, I know you're all interested in who's playing what. Okay, so am I. And I tell you, it was extremely difficult to go through 50 and more voices and cut it in half. But when you cast a 3 or 4 or 5 character play, you want to be very specific about the voices that are involved. You want to have clear, defined character voices in the casting.
Oh, Tom, I tried to call you on the stock ticker, but the darn thing doesn't Well,
and your electric pencil.
My character is Dot, an 11-year-old girl who wants to be part of the gang.
Freddie Rambo, International Pictures.
young Tom Edison, electric detective.
Well, there's not much to say about Tex. He's just real enthusiastic to be on the program, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I've got several characters here. The big one is in The New Adventures of Mark Time, who's a space commander, and I play Mark Time.
And I play Bobby Bunny.
Yes, I do.
Mr. Easy. I never knew I could do the Mae West voice until I came down and auditioned. He said, read this for me. And I said, oh, Maxie. And I went, God, I can do that. That's cool.
Stay alert now for the dangerous adventure of the gold brick robbery.
In a live show, it's best if you can use as many live effects. It's more fun for the audience. It's more fun for the sound effects crews because they'll have more to do. Radio is so open to confusion. You can be confused about where you are, the place. So it's necessary to have a very clear ambience of some kind. It used to be an old radio, everyone was in a studio and it all kind of sounded the same until they learned about birds. And then if you had birds, you were outside. We have a scene in a bar. We have a scene, you know, there you can write a scene in the rain, whatever it is, in a car. So you know where you are. Always have a definite place to put people.
A brave little rocket ship speeds onward, a bright splash of molten silver set against the endless night of space. As Mark and his faithful companions examine the output of Chucko, the robot calculator, they little suspect that another spacecraft is shadowing them, all but invisibly, a shiny black beetle in the velvet void.
Well, Doctor, you've got more steam out of those piles of yours than I thought possible. Here we are, right on target Vector X. But where's our backward planet?
I'd have bet a silver to moon piece. We'd be spang in the middle of her frame. Whoops! Looky there on the scanner. That rosy speck.
That's her, all right. We're on orbit.
Good going, Doc.
Thanks for
What's up now, Commander?
We are, but only if we can keep away from the anti-magnetic time sphere.
And keep a lookout for those missiles, right?
They're not missiles, Bobby. Just big atomic garbage cans set into space by some insane industrialist or plutocrat on Earth a few hundred years ago.
The opening of Mark Time has this obscure little thing which anyone will recognize who's a TV head.
There's an absolute need for a collaborative atmosphere in theater in general. I know there are the great people who run their own shows and never listen to anybody else, but it's only a myth. Everybody is dependent entirely in any kind of theater on the rest of the crew. That's why it's so much fun. Radio is a very interdependent art form. I have to work with the musician, and my style is to let the composer, the sound people, the actors bring as much of themselves without my overlay to the production as possible. Then I guide them.
All right, stand by, everybody, please. Here we go, and...
Calling Tom Edison. Calling Tom Edison. Calling young Tom Edison. We need your help. Repeat. Help.
This is Tom. I'm on my way.
He mentioned young Thomas Edison, electric detective, and I thought, electric detection, electricity. And all of a sudden, I got a thematic germ. There's your electricity. Sparking. Okay, we've got all that going on the right hand, so let's give it a tune. How about something sweeping?
Now, today's challenging adventure. Tom and his best pals, George and Tex, are way up at the top of the 80-foot tower, chewing the fat and smoking ragweed cigars, when all of a sudden Tom's almost girlfriend, Dot, climbs up the rope ladder and appears breathlessly in the doorway.
Gosh, I just had to jump on the tracks to save him.
Wow!
Golly, that was sure brave, Tom.
Sure was.
Well, dash it all, Dot. I told you not to climb all the way up here to the clubhouse yourself. Yeah. You're just a girl and can easily get hurt.
There's been a big robbery at the Downtown Gold Indicator Company.
Come on, gang. Back to the lab.
I saw Leopold Stokowski once at the Hollywood Bowl, and I'll never forget, he raised these hands up and his spotlight fell on them, and all you could see was just this much of his hands, and then gave the downbeat on, you know, the Bach toccata and fugue in D minor, and I thought, that's performing, that's it, he's got it, you know. So I like it. I just raise my hands and do all these kinds of gestures. It's all theater.
He explained to us that the microphone is someone's ear, right in front of your face, and you shouldn't speak any louder into the microphone than you would if you were talking into somebody's ear. So if you've got a real whispery part, you get a little closer to the mic and you whisper. But if you've got a loud part, you've got to back off because you wouldn't yell in somebody's ear.
All right, Morgan.
What?
Stand up and sit there.
What?
This time your neck's in a noose, and no noose is good enough for you, you half-hassler.
With the way we used to express it, it was written for the ear. It was something like, if I was going to kiss you, I would not do that. I would say, let me kiss you.
Geez, honey, let me get that mouse of yours a fresh steak.
You could turn up the Turkish bath, baby. I got an itch like a whole Swiss picnic full of chiggers.
You know me, Maxie. There's always a cup of Jamaica smoking on the back burner for you.
Oh.
How's about I kiss your cares away, honey?
Do your worst, kid. Everybody else has.
Oh, Maxie.
The thing about radio that I feel is that it is a very personal, intimate communication. So is having, you know, Walkman plugged in your ears, but you realize when you're listening to the radio that you're sharing this with a large community of listeners. There's a feeling of community about radio, and it is self-evident coming to Grand Rapids that the community has itself gotten that feeling and drawn behind this.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Ovo wheats, it's the shape to try. They're not flat or shaped like hats and never hard and dry.
Sort of added ambience, but that's down, so.
That's the
Ready over there in sound?
Winner sample.
Just really throw it away, you know. That's fine, and then have them go, and then...
You know, it's so funny, the whole thing. George Tirebiter, Max Morgan, Crime Cabbie, the spot I do with Mark Time. It's really funny stuff, and there are some hilarious sound effects and very tricky language. You're just so tempted to start laughing, which of course the audience I think will be, but the actors certainly shouldn't, or it'll just ruin everything. You really have to, because of that, you got to concentrate.
Now, here's Commander Mark Time.
Thanks again, Red. I just want to tell my space leaders to start looking in boxes of oval wheats today. Maybe you can find the special mystery coupon good for 25 cents at a genuine Mark Timekeeper, just like the one I wear. It shows you the day, hour, and minute in solar mean time, and it has my brand new 1940 Rebus reader securely hidden where no Mothman can ever find it. But remember, you must have a mystery coupon.
I needed something for George Tirebiter doing this ice cream commercial for Oasis Ice Cream. And I remembered a tune that they played in the background on an album that Ossman had done once called Don't Crush That Dwarf, Hand Me the Pliers. Yes, that's right, Don't Crush That Dwarf, Hand Me the Pliers. And he had somehow transmogrified the main character into a child again, George Tirebiter, back into a child. And he's running after this ice cream truck, and he's hearing this.
So, when you hear bells today, run out and shout, "Hey, Mr. Oasis Man, I got a nickel. Wait for me!"
Hey, Rick, you ivory mangler.
What's it to you?
Play me something low down and dirty, friend. Slide that rye on down the bar. Yeah.
I'll tell you how I picked up the nicks on this ugly mug. Now, be fearless about ad-libbing in here. Slide that rye on down the bar. Here you go.
Here you go, Max.
Yeah, just so it fits in the pauses, okay? So there's never room. Okay.
He'll read the line, but he'll also ad-lib little bits, and sometimes they're unexpected and they're funny. And he cracked up a couple people during rehearsals that way, people who he was reading with. I'm trying to teach myself not to pay attention to what he does, so that, you know, if he does something unexpectedly funny, it won't throw me. Also, I hope to try and do as much for him too, if possible. So David, look out! I might try and crack you up.
So
I should say something about
yeah.
that right away.
I like Wheel of Fortune.
Vanna, my love, Vanna, my love child.
Oh, here's Wheel of Fortune.
Ah, Vanna.
Yes.
I love the curvature of her spine.
Yes, but I thought they should have replaced that Cookie Man with Morton Downey. Would have pepped up the show considerably, all those teeth. Did you know his father was an Irish tenor?
It's no surprise that Orson Welles, who was the greatest practitioner of the classic form of radio production, live radio production, was himself a magician. I'm sure that's one of the things that fascinated him about radio, was the magic of it.
Oh, terribly sorry. You're the ghost. I'm Scrooge. Yes, one more time.
How now? What do you want with me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
Your mother, Georgie, dear.
Oh!
I'm here on Oprah.
Oh, Mother, don't tell her anything.
My mother, Margot, too.
Oh!
It's a lot more fun than I expected it to be. I don't know what I expected it to be, but it's more fun.
I mean, it's got to be illegal to have this much fun.
No, I think ultimately what this is all about is seeing that it can be done. How can we do this? How do we get all these people together to make it actually happen?
Well, when I auditioned, it was just kind of running up there and just kind of like being slightly, you were kind of nervous, you know, you didn't know really what was going on, but we were assigned characters and now we've rehearsed and it's really gelling into something, really congealing into something fun and now we got a show.
'Tis the season to be jolly, la 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 la.
And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well if any man alive possessed the knowledge. May that be truly said of us and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed...
Great. It's unlucky to say the last line before the broadcast. That's fine. Credits go over the music and we're out. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Mr. Tirebiter. You were great.
Oh, well.
Just go ahead and write in those ad-libs you did for Scrooge.
Ad-libs, I did.
Okay, dress at 4 o'clock and broadcast at 7:30 tomorrow. Don't worry about a thing. It's going to be great.
No.
Yeah. Now, once the show starts, nobody even gets in that door.
Okay.
So then you want to...
I don't have a TV, so this is my only time to see live faces with voices.
It's a chance to see two things at once, kind of. You'd normally get to hear it, now you get to see it and hear it.
They have closed the house. We've sold out.
Well. The Imperial Limousine Service welcomes you to Greater Grand Rapids.
Georgie never knew his real father.
Him like Japanese beer, light peach wine cooler, light Italian.
It's my novel. Oh, better yet, it's mine.
They all shout yippee when they see that.
Radio's going to be hit songs played all day in rotation by
God knows.
I thought he'd never die.
George Tirebiter's hard-hitting novel of murder and desire.
Remember my Oscar. Oh, I cannot bear it. Leave me. Haunt me no longer.
From a distance, hidden against the Magellanic clouds, the black beetle ship watches
Well, by the twin eyeballs of Saturn.
Golly and galloping asteroids, Mr. Time.
Now we got to turn this old tub back into the ether again. ain't nothing but calendars.
Ovoids, it's the shape to try. They're not flat or shaped like hats and never hard and dry.
See here, gang. This is serious. I'd better tell you all what to do.
Yes, Tom.
Yeah, that's right. Quiet, all of you. You know I only have one good ear. Patent protected and armed with the etheric force.
Gosh, Tom.
Tom's word on it, girls and boys, so light up. Keep those lights on. All over America. All over the world.
Oh, I was a beached tuna, Fergus. Food for the whales.
Shut up! Oh! Your license is no good in my town. You know it, wise guy.
Good neighbor policy looked like a bad case of Montezuma's revenge.
Killer shot with a toothache. I've as good as got him under control when I guess I slip on a fish head and whack. My skull connects with a hard, flat thing I think is the wet asphalt pavement of the parking lot, but turns out to be a bolt of greasy lightning that knocks me off a high wall into a deep, wet place that covers me up tight under a blue-black blanket. Blankness.
Because there's been so much training going on, the pressure applied to a radio station, see, by somebody who's trained and who has already gone through it, is heavy. So many of the people who've been through one or another of these workshops has gone back to their local community or their local community radio station and said, now I know how to do it now, let's get it together.
Think about it. Think about the past, the present, and the future, sir, and the lessons that they teach.
Well,
And then be jolly.
Jolly?
Raise someone's salary and buy a second coal scuttle before you dot another I.
I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year, eh? A kinder and gentler Scrooge. Scrooge? Oh, Scrooge, he's gone. But he'll be back. Until then,
God bless us,
everyone.
Had a great time. It's the radio live, you know.
It's fun, yeah. You don't want it to stop. You want more pages.
Really?
Yeah, you feel cheated when you have to go sit down.
ladies and gentlemen, this is George Tirebiter returning for just a moment to remind you, as you very well know, that this is the midst of the disillusionment and heartbreak season. And with the recent outbreak of that suicidal strain of despair over there in Eastern Europe, well, you'd better keep a close watch on your own emotions. And we ask you to remember the 7 danger signals of depression. And there's a general and lasting feeling of hopelessness. There's also an inability to concentrate. Loss of self-esteem. Fear of rejection. Misdirected anger! And extreme dependency on others. Well, at the first sign of any of these symptoms, just follow these simple rules. Keep working, drink as much as possible, and take your television's advice. And you know, more TVs recommend an amazing new psychic breakthrough than any other, and that is confidence in the system. Yes, fast, safe, and guaranteed by constant federal control, confidence in the system will keep democracy in power longer, and tend to calm and obscure the miseries of disillusionment and despair. That's confidence in the system in easy-to-swallow propaganda form or new, fast-acting thought control. Remember, only your professional broadcaster knows for sure. This is George Tirebiter saying thank you for listening and good night.
This is the No BS Radio Network.